Space exploration and commercialization. Space, the final frontier. For centuries, humankind has looked up at the night sky, gazing at the stars with awe and curiosity. What's out there? What lies beyond our planet? And more recently, how can we get there? These are questions that have sparked human imagination for millennia. And today, we're not just imagining it, we're going. In the last few decades, space exploration has been undergoing a profound transformation. It's no longer just the domain of government agencies like NASA, Roscosmos, or the European Space Agency. In the last 10 years, we've seen the rise of private companies entering the space race, forever changing how we think about the universe and the future of human presence beyond Earth. This era of commercial space exploration is upon us. But how did we get here? And where are we headed? Let's take a step back and look at how this all started. For most of the 20th century, space exploration was firmly in the hands of government agencies. The Soviet Union and the United States dominated the race to the stars, with monumental achievements like the launch of Sputnik in 1957, the first artificial satellite, and the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, when humans first set foot on the moon. These were achievements that captured the world's imagination and showed the potential of human ingenuity. But for all the wonder, the reality of space exploration has always been expensive. In the 1960s, NASA's budget peaked at around 4% of the US federal budget. Today, that figure is less than 0.5%. The costs involved in building rockets, spacecraft, and supporting infrastructure are astronomical, pun intended. So, what has changed? The rise of private companies entering space has opened up new possibilities. In the past 2 decades, billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson have entered the space industry with a vision to make space accessible, to explore new frontiers, and even to build a new economy in orbit. Take SpaceX, founded by Musk in 2002. At the time, the idea of a private company sending spacecraft into orbit seemed almost ludicrous. Yet today, SpaceX has become the leader in space commercialization. Its Falcon rockets are launching satellites into space, resupplying the International Space Station, and soon they'll be sending humans to the Moon and Mars. Musk's vision is ambitious. He doesn't just want to launch rockets, he wants to colonize Mars. He wants to create a backup for humanity, a way to ensure the survival of our species should something catastrophic happen on Earth. He envisions a future where humanity is a multi-planetary species, where colonies on Mars are self-sustaining, and where travel between Earth and Mars could be as routine as flying across the Atlantic. This vision is far from science fiction. SpaceX has already made huge strides toward making this a reality. The Falcon 9, a reusable rocket, has revolutionized space travel. By reusing the first stage of the rocket, SpaceX has driven down the cost of launches dramatically. Just a decade ago, sending a payload into orbit could cost over $450 million. Now, with Falcon 9, that cost has dropped to less than $60 million. And the impact of reusability? We've seen rockets land on floating platforms in the ocean, only to be reused again. This is a game changer for the entire space industry. But Musk is not alone in this quest. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has also set his sights on space with Blue Origin, a company he founded in 2000. While Musk is focused on Mars, Bezos envisions a future where Earth's industries move off-planet, where space becomes a hub for manufacturing, tourism, and other industries. Blue Origin's long-term goal is to create a permanent human presence in space, specifically in large space stations orbiting Earth, where people can live and work. And then there's Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, which aims to revolutionize space tourism. Branson's company made headlines when it successfully sent tourists to the edge of space in 2021, providing them with a few minutes of weightlessness and breathtaking views of Earth. Virgin Galactic's vision is more grounded for now compared to SpaceX and Blue Origin. But the idea that ordinary people might one day vacation in space is no longer purely fantastical. So, we have this emerging space race, not between countries, but between billionaires and their companies, each with a different vision of space's future. But what does this mean for the rest of us? Is this all just about rich people flying to space? Or does it signify something deeper? A new era of exploration, economic opportunity, and perhaps the very survival of humanity? Let's start with the concept of space tourism. As the price of space travel decreases and technology advances, the idea that space could become a tourist destination is moving from dream to reality. Right now, a ticket to space with Virgin Galactic costs around $250,000. It's out of reach for most people, but as the technology improves and more companies enter the space tourism market, prices could fall, making it more accessible. But space tourism isn't just about leisure. It's about expanding human knowledge and capabilities. Imagine the scientific experiments that could be conducted in microgravity, the opportunities for education and innovation. If humans can live and work in space, it could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, technology, and environmental science that we can't even imagine yet. This brings us to another key point: how space commercialization will transform industries back on Earth. Right now, we have more satellites in orbit than ever before. These satellites enable everything from GPS navigation to global communications, weather forecasting, and internet access in remote areas. In the future, companies like SpaceX and Amazon aim to expand this infrastructure with global internet coverage through massive satellite constellations. The potential here is enormous, bringing connectivity to every corner of the planet, helping to bridge the digital divide, and opening up economic opportunities for people in even the most isolated regions. Then, there's the idea of resource mining. Space holds vast untapped resources. The Moon, asteroids, and even Mars could contain minerals and elements that are rare or exhausted on Earth. Mining these resources could one day fuel industries here on Earth, providing raw materials for manufacturing, energy production, and beyond. Space mining is still in its infancy, but if companies can figure out how to mine asteroids and transport materials back to Earth, it could change everything. But we must also acknowledge the ethical questions and challenges that come with this new frontier. As commercial enterprises push deeper into space, how will we govern it? Right now, outer space is governed by the Outer Space Treaty, an international agreement signed in 1967, which establishes that space exploration is to be used for peaceful purposes and for the benefit of all humankind. But this treaty was created long before space was seen as an economic frontier. As private companies stake their claim in space, we'll need new regulations and international cooperation. Who owns the Moon? Can anyone lay claim to asteroids and the minerals they contain? How do we protect space from becoming another arena of conflict, exploitation, or environmental degradation? These are the questions we'll need to answer in the coming years. In the end, space commercialization is not just about rockets and satellites. It's about opening up a new frontier for humanity, one that could expand our horizons in ways we've only dreamed of. It's about ensuring that space is a place of opportunity, not just for the few, but for everyone. The future of space exploration is bright, and as more players enter the game, the possibilities seem endless. Whether it's a future where we mine asteroids for resources, where tourists routinely orbit Earth, or where we build colonies on other planets, the journey of commercial space exploration is just beginning, and we're only at the tip of the iceberg. The stars are no longer out of reach. The question is, how will we navigate this new frontier? What role will you play?